When it comes to injuries, Kiko has a sprained foot, but he'll be just fine. Obviously, we're leaving today to head to London. So two guys that will actually be traveling, that'll be evaluated during the week, is Kane and JJ. Michael Carter would not travel today, right? He's still in concussion protocol. So we'll see how that goes, see if he'll travel on another day to be with us, to be able to play in the game. So those are the injuries that came up. When it comes to the game, really nothing changed from my thought process from yesterday. I mean, obviously disappointed in the loss. Obviously disappointed in the fumble and the penalties that we've had. Again, the same thing happened the week before. And there's no magic wand that changes those things. The only thing that changes those things is what we emphasize, which we've always been emphasizing, and going back to work, right? That's the only thing that changes those things. And you do that in practice. So I know that is something that everyone's talking about, but that is something that we are emphasizing. That's something the players understand. And listen, no one's feel worse than that fumble than Brees does, all right? And I have all the trust in the world in that player. That player was having a hell of a game. Obviously, the game had to turn into something different because of the score. And we had Justin throw 46 times, which is something that we really don't want to do because we want to make sure that we're running it just as well as we're passing it. And that's how we play football. That's our brand of football. And I do know this. There were a lot of good things that I'm proud of that happened in that game. We just got to fix those things that cause you to lose games. And if you look across the league, I would say about 85% of the games that were lost, teams that are lost the same fashion that we did. Turnovers and penalties. So we got to continue to look at it and try to clean those up. Any questions?
AG, you just sort of touched on it. Your brand of football, the way you want to play, what you guys have talked about since the spring.
Yep.
Run the ball, playing good defense. Do you need to start faster in these games? In other words, do you need to be playing with a lead rather than falling behind in order to play the brand of football that you want to play?
Yeah, you know what? I think just in general, in all three phases, we talk about being able to start fast. Obviously, our offense did a really good job of driving down the field, and we ended up getting a field goal. We should have got 7 on that, but we got a field goal, so we got points. Defensively, that's what we got to make sure we end up stopping teams from scoring in that situation, because I think the last couple of games we have given up a touchdown or field goal in that instance. So that's something that again, is an emphasis of ours. But you're absolutely right. Right, starting fast is something that we want to do, and I think most teams want to do that anyway. But for us to play the way that we want to play, it's important for us to be able to do that.
Dallas had 3 walk-in touchdowns. Usually that means there was a lack of hustle or maybe a missed assignment on the play. What was your take on those 3?
Missed assignments on that, all right? And we have to get better at that. And that comes from sometimes players want to do a little too much, and their eyes can be in the wrong spot. But guys, just do your job, and we'll be just fine. And you see that on a number of games across the league, especially when you get down in that area. All right, so we got to do a better job of just doing our job and focusing on that and not trying to do too much, because that's what happens, right, when teams are moving the ball. Guys get a little nosy. Our guys want to do too much and not just focus on what they have to do.
On the Pickens, I just want a quick follow on that. On the Pickens touchdown, Sauce said it was a busted coverage, so which leads me into my question. With these missed assignments, do you think maybe Wilkes should simplify the defense a little bit just to, get the players playing faster?
Well, you're just talking about like those plays. I mean, it's like 62 plays or 70-some plays within a game. So I'm not going to sit there and say that it was total issue because of 4 plays. So I'm not going to go that route. We're talking about the other plays where everybody was in line. And we just got to win our one-on-ones. Right? We got to win those one-on-ones in that situation. And I understand exactly what Sauce was talking about. And collectively, me, myself, right, we all have to make sure we're on the same page when it comes to that.
Aaron, we talked yesterday about, you want to prevent them from feeling, okay, here we go again.
Yep.
How do you address that with them? Because, again, I know it's a new year and a new staff, but a lot of these guys have been here and experienced this type of stuff, turnovers, penalties, all that.
Well, listen, for the last 2 years, I think we led the league in penalties. And I've said that at the beginning, like, you just don't hit a wand and that changes, man. The work has to be able to fix those things. And that's what practice is for. The same thing when it comes to turnovers and also taking the ball away. We have to work to get those things done. And nothing overcomes that. Nothing overcomes the work. And the thing is, I know for a fact our players are bought into what we're doing. So that's why I know it's not a here we go again. Because every day we emphasize it, every day we talk about it, and we attack those things every day. And the players attack them too. So I have I am not worried about that part of the here we go again. And you guys heard the players talk, and you guys see what their mindset is, and they feel the same way that we do as coaches. There's no such thing as that for us right now. We just got to continue to play with, to continue to work. We got to work.
AG, there was a moment in the first half where I think Justin Fields' pass hit the camera, like the sky cam or whatever. I believe there's a rule that they're supposed to run the play again or something like that. Do you know why that didn't happen in that moment?
I have no idea. There are a number of things that I question, but that's just the way it goes. And listen, every coach is going to question certain calls that happen in the game, and we try to get clarity on it, as the week goes by asking those questions and trying to send those in. So we'll see how that goes.
Aaron, are you considering any personnel changes on defense?
You know what? And I'll say this every week is you earn your keep. You earn your keep. So I think we always looking at that. Who gives us the best chance to win? That does not mean that we're just having wholesale changes week in and week out. But I do expect us to the players to earn their keep during the week.
You touched on this a little bit last night, but with the pass rush, basically getting only one sack, and that was kind of a give-up sack. Now that you had a chance to look at it more closely, and you did blitz a lot, which you usually do, why wasn't it getting home?
Well, I don't think we blitzed a ton. The thing is, listen, the slide is going to Quinnen dang near every time. And our other guys has to win their one-on-ones. That is something that I talked to a number of guys about last night, and they understand that. And in this day and age, you see a lot of 12 personnel, and they're blocking, they're keeping everybody in. And that's one of the reasons why we had issues, is they're keeping when you got a four-man rush, they're keeping everybody in, and they're blocking this thing up, and they have these two-man routes. So we got to do a better job of making sure we understand how to make sure we cover those two-man routes for the most part.
Aaron, why did you decide to go to London early in the week? Some teams go later in the week, and I believe you went with New Orleans, right? As an assistant, have you ever done this trip other than that time in New Orleans?
You know what? I went as a player in New Orleans and a coach in New Orleans, and we always went early, and I always felt guys got acclimated, a lot quicker when you go early. That's something I just believed in, So it'll be a good trip for us. Again, we going there for one reason. Let's go win the game. And I look forward to the work that we're going to have this week.
Aaron, you talked about
a couple more.
How you spoke to Tony Dungy and Jimmy Johnson.
Yep.
That's you reaching out to them just for advice, or what precipitated that?
Well, both of those guys reached out to me because, again, they've been here. And they understand the noise that's going to come from, all over the place, from the fans, from the media. And they're telling me, because they see every one of my press conferences, they see what the players are saying. And they're telling me, man, stay the course. You know exactly what's going on in that building. You know exactly what's going on that practice field. And I appreciate that because they have, been a part of what I'm going through and what we're going through for the most part. And I believe exactly what they're saying. And that's something that we're going to do. We're going to stay the course. We're not going to waver. We're not going to let any of the outside noise start, to get us to, have issues between each other. Listen, coaches and players, we're on the same page. Trust me when I tell you that. And we're going to continue to work our ass off until we get this thing fixed.
Sometimes when a new regime comes in, it becomes very obvious to everyone that it's a total rebuild. When you got in, and I recall it at the scouting combine, you said exactly, we're here to win now. Do you think, having the benefit of some hindsight here, do you think maybe you underestimated the challenge that you were stepping into?
What coach is not here to win now? I'm asking.
Well,
Every coach
sometimes
is here to win now. What you didn't say is what I said. I'm not thinking about the Super Bowl. I'm not thinking about playoffs. I'm thinking about building a foundation. And that's exactly what we're doing. So every coach in this NFL, I mean, that's what you're here for, is to win. So
I know,
I'm,
but sometimes
I'm not changing that at all. Yes, we are here to win now. We're actually absolutely here. Have we done it yet? No, we haven't. I understand that. We're 0-5 and we own that. But I do know this, that's not going to stop us from doing everything we can to win. So absolutely, we are here to win now, like every other coach is.
Aaron, if I could ask about one coaching decision from yesterday.
Yep.
Fourth and
Last one here.
five. Fourth and 5 at the Cowboys 43. I think it might have been your second series. You had the ball there, 43, 4th and 5. You decided to punt. Just what went into the decision to punt there?
I wanted to play field position football at that point. I want to back them up, put our defense on the field and see if we can stop them, see if we can create field position. That was the only reason why.